So here we go again with another Sims 4 Cottage Living build. Like, holy cow, I think everybody has forgotten any other pack exists, and we are all now focused on cottage living and cottages and builds, and you know what? I'm okay with that. I really, really love the cottage core vibe that we have going, and I'm ready for it. If you haven't, though, go ahead and make sure you click that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on the Sims 4 content that I post. Now, for this house, I kind of wanted to give it a little bit more of a town type feel. I built this in Finchwick, so it's maybe more of an in-town type home. It honestly, I played around a lot with this build before I could figure out exactly how I kind of wanted it. I really wanted to try to give it like an octagon room shape, but it just was not working out. I've really got to sit down and play around and see if I can make that work. But it didn't work for this build. But I do use a lot of the debug items in this build, and holy cow, can we talk about the debug menu for a minute? I think it is my favorite debug menu out of all of the game packs that have ever been released. It is such a cool debug menu. There's so much you can find. You can find those string lights and just a ton of trees and plants. There's tractors. Oh my gosh, there's just everything in the debug menu. It is so pretty, and I use a lot of that here. I end up putting a bunch of trees with those string lights around, and I use a tractor that I kind of put a bunch of bushes and stuff around it, so it looks a little worn down and broken, but I kind of think it adds to the aesthetics. But yes, so, and these mushrooms, like those little mushrooms that I just placed near the stairs there, I love the mushrooms that the debug menu has. The debug menu just has a bunch of cool stuff in this game pack, and I am in love with it. Like, oh my gosh, I could build forever with the debug menu in this category. I kind of have this idea of making kind of like a little fairy town with like some of the string lights and lanterns and stuff like that. I don't know if I'll actually do it or not. A lot of simmers seem to be doing that, and I don't know. I don't necessarily want to just jump on the bandwagon, but at the same time, I don't know. That would be so easy to make with our debug menu. It's so good. But talking about this house again, I like the idea of the modern type addition to it, but I kind of wanted to put this one in the back of the house, and I kind of wanted to make it look and feel a little more rustic than just a modern addition. So that's kind of what I do. And when I place the trees on either sides, I kind of make the string lights go over it. So if you're inside looking at it, you get some of those string light effects, which I think is really cool. Placing a bunch of the debugs, the ivy, the tractor. Oh my god, like I could for real. I could marry this debug menu. I really, really could. It is such a cool way to build. The only thing I don't like so far is the ivy will go through the bay window. So I would kind of like it if I could have maybe almost a smaller piece to where when I'm trying to put it by a bay window, it doesn't go inside the build. But you know what? Small consolation price to pay. I wanted to see how a half wall around this would look, and I don't like it. Okay, I resort back to the debug fences with good reason. Like I said, these fences are so cute, but you can put those little string lights around those trees. You just have to do it manually, which can be a good thing because you can kind of pick and choose which trees and stuff you want. So I'm really, really happy they included that. And like my little tractor there. And I kind of put the weeds and stuff around the tractor. When I grew up, my dad had this really, really old tractor. I mean, really, really old. I think my grandfather might have got it in like, I don't know, the 50s or something. Really, really old style tractor. And my dad kept it for a long time. Actually, he might still have it. I'm not 100% sure, but he might still have it. But and I remember at a certain point it was just overgrown because it wasn't ever used. My dad had a newer tractor. I think he kept it for sentimental reasons more than anything else. But but it just got kind of overgrown and it had like some wildflowers and stuff around it, and I thought it was just really, really pretty. So when I saw this tractor in the game, I kind of wanted to include that into my build and kind of, make it overgrown because, I mean, let's face it, our Sims aren't hopping on a tractor and going anywhere. Now, with the floor plan, it was actually a little harder to floor plan for this house than I thought it would be. Such a small build, it just made it really, really hard to floor plan. I really liked the idea of the swing out stairs here, but I really couldn't make it work. And I don't like that the stair railings clip into the walls and windows when we add them. I think it would be such a cool idea if we could make it where we could only add railings to one side. Because with my stairs being against the wall like they are, I don't necessarily need railing on the other side. I just need it on one side, but I couldn't do that. So I end up putting an office on the other side, which it ends up looking okay, but I'm just saying it would have been cool if we could have done it without that. But I am starting to work on the kitchen, and I keep it kind of simple, but at the same time, I really like how this kitchen came out. I like that I have the kind of corner piece that kind of extends to the back door, and I end up putting some different pieces in there that, it's kind of like one of those places where you just put your stuff when you walk in the door. I don't know. I think everyone kind of has one of those places where you just put your stuff when you walk in the door. I know I do, and I think it's just one of those things that's, supposed to be. I go with blue for this kitchen because honestly, when I bought my first house had like these light blue walls and these white cabinets and everything, and I thought it looked so pretty. Obviously, in this case, it's a little bit reversed. The walls are kind of a beigeish, and the counters and stuff are kind of blue. But I still think the color choices work well together. And I also wanted to do something with an island in the middle because I realized I don't really ever put any islands in the middle of my builds, which I do here. Now, I don't put the sink or the stove or anything. And in my mind, I kind of think like the island would be like an addition. Like maybe once upon a time there would have been a dining table there, and maybe when they added on the sunroom in the back, they decided to add on like a little island there. So that's kind of where my mind was. Now, right now, I'm working on a little shelf area to put like jams and jellies and stuff like that. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with that now. Ever since we've got the canning in Cottage Living, I really, really like the idea of having like a pantry shelf. So just different things I can put up on the shelves. And again, there's no jams or jellies in the debug menu, which really, when you think about it, makes sense. We don't have any of the any cooked meals in the debug item. So you can't go and debug and find like eggs and toast. Your sim has to make those. So really, I suppose it makes sense. I'm probably the only one who's trying to decorate with these canned products, so I guess it makes sense, but it still would have been nice if we had it. I'm kind of including a little small office right behind the kitchen, and there's also a small bathroom. Now, that ends up being the only bathroom in the build. This is a very small lot, but it ends up working out very, very well. Working on the kind of sunroom area, I kind of figured it would be like a nice little living room type area. Definitely someplace that your Sims would like to go sit down and relax. I know when I think of sunrooms, I think of like, just an area you go and you sit and you relax, maybe read a book, maybe watch some TV, stuff like that. So that's kind of what I planned on this being. But I think it came out really, really cute. I tried to match the colors too, though. We had kind of a blue theme going in the kitchen, so I tried to keep kind of a blue theme going on in the living room. And yeah, I think it came out really, really cute. Now, I go back and forth on what and how I want to do. Like I said, the floor plan for this house was a little bit tough. But I do eventually decide on this upstairs floor plan. It ends up having 2 bedrooms on top, as you'll see here soon. I really wanted to play with the idea of adding a master bathroom to the upstairs, but it just wasn't working out. Space-wise, it just was not going to work. So I ditched that idea, but I keep the door connecting the 2 bedrooms, the adult bedroom and the kids' kid's bedroom, kind of like, maybe it was a nursery. Once upon a time, you had kind of a walk-in nursery that was right off the parents' room. So when the baby cried in the middle of the night, you're right there. Kind of kept that idea, but maybe the kids are a little older now. I put a toddler bed and a loft bed in this room, so it could work for a kid of any age, really. But yeah, so it's a very small family home, but it's a very charming and kind of cute family home. And let me just say, this wallpaper, this bunny wallpaper that I used in the kids' room, oh my gosh, I think I'm going to use that wallpaper in kids' rooms from now on. Like, oh, it is so cute. I am so in love with this pack. Okay, I'm sorry. Cottage Living is my absolute favorite pack now. It beats no other pack. I love it. But yeah, I'm kind of adding a few last minute decorations. I put a little art easel in and stuff. But this is the build. So let's go ahead and take a look. So again, oh, hang on. Let me show you this at night. Look at that. Look at it at night. Look at the backyard. We get the string lights. And like I said, they kind of go over the sunroof a little bit and then into the other tree, which, oh, like, come on. You can't beat that. That is just the best. But this is the home. So you come inside and you're right here in the kitchen, this little kind of tiny cramped cottage looking kitchen, which I love it. I really do. Off here we have the bathroom. Like I said, this is the only bathroom in this build. It's a very small but should still be functional where you can access everything. You come over here, this is the little office. I did use the new computer that we got in the pack. I still don't like that computer, and you can check the link above to see why I don't like that computer, but I did use it to keep with the feels. We have our little sunroom here. Now, in the middle of the day, it gets very, very bright because, like, the way the sun rises on this lot, it's gonna hit the sunroom. But once the evening gets here and it's afternoon, like, it ends up looking very cute. I put the little flower piece in it, and just, it looks really cute. And then upstairs, we have a very small little area, and I put a little easel in it just to kind of give a skill building. And then here we have our kids' room, very simple kids' room with a dresser. We got a little toy and a lunchbox, loft bed and toddler bed. I did add this little basket of blankets and pillows and put some, kid stuff up on the wall. And they also have a little bookshelf, and then that goes into the parents' room, which again, very simply decorated, but I'm loving it. I'm sorry. I'm loving this pack. It goes so well with, like, decorating and simply decorating, and I'm in love with it. But that is all for this speed build. Again, if you have not, make sure you click that subscribe button, and I will see you next time. Bye!